Next up, we got lolcow content. Don't remember if it was you or some other VTuber who talked about looking up that guy with the bear persona, but I instantly knew it had to be Dobson. It was me. I did talk about this because I heard about this guy, but I don't know that much about him. I just heard like passing references about him. An AR pistol, interesting. 100 mag 556 says it will defend my house well enough. That's what I was thinking, right? Oh, I'm not subscribed to him on this one. I'm subscribed to him on my like incognito channel. Okay. Let's check out Sad Bear Man.
Webcomics. In the
Also let me know if there's any problems with the volume.
earliest days of the internet, webcomics were one of the most popular forms of entertainment. Since in the early 2000s, dial-up internet was still the standard, and loading a video could take 5 weeks, webcomics were a very easy way to gain a following online, since it just needed to be an image that loaded up.
Oh, it's Control-Alt-Delete. Known for loss. That's really all that I know it for, is the loss thing. And also, apparently, it wasn't very funny.
Back in the 2000s, webcomics were incredibly popular. Be it Penny Arcade, Control-Alt-Delete, or whatever floats your boat.
Oh, there's loss. What the heck?
They made a name for themselves.
In the dawn of the internet, there were webcomics. True.
The quality of those webcomics nowadays can definitely be put into question. You'll get your day in the spotlight someday, Buckley. But right now, we're going to put our focus on one very specific webcomic creator, and possibly the biggest downfall of a webcomic creator.
Penny Arcade is a good game.
On the internet. This is Tom Preston,
Before I forget.
also known as Andrew Dobson. Dobson made a very popular webcomic in the early 2010s, and probably holds the record for peaking too early in his career, and for being the biggest punching bag of a webcomic artist ever. And today,
also comic and whatnot,
we're going to talk about why this is. This is the story of Dobson.
Nice. Now I can finally learn.
I don't think this bubble can get much bigger.
Nonsense!
No!
Aw, this is why I wouldn't watch Ice Age, because I love the little squirrel man. I think it's Scrat or something, and I couldn't watch him suffer. It made me sad, so I never watched Ice Age. Unless if I'd see like little clips, and I'd be very sad, and I'd have to walk away.
Dobson was mostly unknown in the early 2000s. Well, that's what he would have you believe anyway. That's a story for much later. Andrew would remain on the down low on the internet through most of the 2000s, drawing art,
Look at him hiding.
which is heavily inspired by 90s anime and Nintendo games. The anime influence in his artwork is very blatant. You can tell he was one of the original weebs of the 90s. And now that I'm mentioning it, I'm going to have to bring this up. Dobson's story is very similar to another person I've already covered.
Oh, do you hear that in the background? Do you hear some bass to Earthbound music? Nice, nice.
Movie Bob. The two are incredibly similar in many ways. Both were born in the 80s, they're now in their 40s, both are obsessed with Nintendo, both have a very similar political leaning, both are very feminist. You could look at them from far away and
no. Comic Movie Bob? Is that what we're in for? Good lord. Doesn't Movie Bob, like, want eugenics? Oh my god.
Take them for the same person. But they went on completely separate paths. Movie Bob went on to become a movie critic, and Dobson went on to make webcomics. Their upbringing was also incredibly similar. They were both outcasts and were bullied for their obsession with Nintendo and geek stuff, but Dobson's bullying was apparently so bad he had to move states, specifically Minnesota, where he then attended the Minneapolis College of Art and Design in the early 2000s. Now, this is a very prestigious college to go to. It costs quite a penny to go here, so Dobson was very privileged to be able to attend this college, but he only viewed them in a negative light. He basically admitted he dropped everything they taught him in order to go back to his idea of how art should be, which tells me they probably criticized his art, which is a college, they're going to do that. That's their job, and he didn't take too kindly to that. Major foreshadowing. Also, since he's balding in his 20s, God, I hate seeing myself in these people. He wore a stupid fedora every day to class, and it got him the nickname Hat Andy, which sounds like a Linkara side character.
Oi.
I am a man! After
Can't
graduating from
escape him.
college, Dobson would mostly post art and comics on his DeviantArt, a lot of which are, like I said, based off of his favorite properties he grew up with, notably 90s anime and Nintendo. Oh
Okay.
boy, does he love himself some Nintendo. He's not Movie
Oh
Bob
boy.
levels of obsessed with them, but he's close. He would express his fanboyism for Nintendo in one of his older comics called Danny and Spot. Danny's too focused on the AAA next-gen high-budget games on the PS3 and 360, but Spot is here to show him games on the Wii are way better because they're fun. Oh, look at these guys playing games the boring way. But look at that. They're having fun on the Wii, flailing around like they have Parkinson's. Now, that's fun. That's what gaming is all about. Oh, those adult games are...
I mean, I had a lot of fun with the Wii. Mainly because, I don't know, maybe the games that I had. I don't know. I grew up with Nintendos too. A different era, sure, but I do think that it's weird whenever it kind of becomes almost like a pseudo religion, like it does with Movie Bob. It's very cringe. Fedora and art school. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, for sure.
too serious and boring. The Wii's just like the wheel on the round earth. It's not a fad.
Oh boy. Boy.
So I'm not showing this off
Boy. Wii is fun, but Xbox and PS and PlayStation were fun enough too. Yeah, no, it's weird whenever you make it like a war and it's your personality that you chose this game console and not a different game console. Like it's one thing when you're like a child and you're participating in the console wars, sure. Nintendo versus Sega, whatever. That was a thing. It's weird whenever you make it your whole personality is that I chose this game console versus that game console. You could have multiple. I don't understand. Or you could just be PC. There's a lot of options here, bros.
just to expose Dobson's fanboyism, it's also the prototype format for a vast chunk of his work in the future. This person is stupid, but this person is a smart and informed one who aligns with Dobson's own views. This is what many have dubbed a Strawman comic. The person who they don't agree with has their arguments boiled down to the point it's easy to debunk in a few comic panels. Also, they're ugly, fat, angry, or just stupid. Dobson loves this format, as he would use it for years, especially in 2010 when a little game called Metroid Other M came out.
Well, your family could only get one, so there had to be a war as a kid. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Everyone
Again, as a kid, he's now an adult. It's different.
Stupid. Dobson loves this format, as he would use it for years, especially in 2010 when a little game called Metroid Other M came out. Everyone who knows about Metroid Other M knows. It is a very controversial game and considered one of the worst Metroid games, and
I thought the gameplay was supposed to be decent. It's just like the story is hot trash. Or maybe it was the core mechanics were decent, because I know there's also like weird points whenever it's like, oh, you can't use your freaking weapons because dude told you not to, and it's weird. And it's just weird. But I think that's part of the story being trash.
It is a very controversial game and considered one of the worst Metroid games, and Dobson defended this game with his dying breath. He considered it the best Metroid game, and considered Metroid Prime, one of the most loved Metroid games, to be the worst one.
Oh, you're gonna get shit on, man. Boy. That's just asking for trouble.
Of true contrarianism. He would constantly get into arguments online about it, even years after its release. So Dobson, very early on, was already very combative and argumentative with people he didn't agree with. I just want you to imagine what it would be like with something that actually mattered. There was no moment of peace or him starting off calm and mild-mannered. From the very early days he was on the web, he was already stirring the pot with other people. Even in his DeviantArt blog posts, there was constant complaining and arguments. In 2006, he made this blog post where he detailed he was hooked up with a Jewish girlfriend and then had Hanukkah with her and her family, where he was miserable because it was a lot more boring compared to Christmas. He started drawing an art piece to express how miserable he was, and then his girlfriend saw the picture he drew and naturally took offense to it. He took something that mattered a lot to her and made it about himself. You could probably guess how the relationship turned out after that. So this would...
I mean, that's fair to be upset about, to be honest. That's what I heard. The game limits mechanics for story elements, and the story itself is mid at best. Haven't played it though, so who knows? Yeah, same.
Continue on for a few years. He would make little tiny comics and art pieces on his DeviantArt, argue with people. He would make animations and demo reels on YouTube to show off his animation skills.
Hey, paisano!
Oh my god. Mario, Luigi, Princess,
Oh,
Toad!
Lord.
Who did you expect? Pee Wee Herman?
One day,
Oh, boy.
he
That was cringe. Though it's early internet, though. So, I feel like it's a early internet's threshold for cringe was different in terms of what was considered cringe. His little Jewish girlfriend, yeah. Yeah. That SBF video was interesting.
created this little comic he dubbed the Potato Comic. A basic little comic where Dobson makes himself dinner with a single potato and then proceeds to make a pop culture reference. This one comic would inspire Dobson to truly start his career. A career for the ages.
Huh.
You found me!
Of course! You stick out like a big sore pink thumb!
Less talky, more wishy.
I wish the whole world was back to the way it's supposed to be.
Is the dude into inflation or something? Why does there keep on being like people blowing up? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I have concern. Well, we'll see if we get there.
In January of 2011, Dobson would create his most popular comic, So You're a Cartoonist.
Oh no, he does, doesn't he? Oh no. I'm scared. There's a scene that scarred me for life as a child, and it's gonna be in here, I know it. Deep breath. I will be brave. I will be brave for you guys.
This was a webcomic dedicated to Dobson showing off his struggles as an online cartoonist, detailing his early life and upbringing in a very comedic and exaggerated fashion. And it was a surprise hit! A lot of artists were able to relate and laugh at all the crap Dobson went through to get where he was now. Around the same time making this, he also collaborated with internet musician Brentalfloss to make a comic series for him.
Really? I haven't heard that name in a long time. I used to watch him quite a bit. I didn't know that he had a webcomic.
So Dobson is finally getting recognition after all these years. But as anyone should know, fame is a package deal. When you get a ton of people looking up to you and enjoying your work, you also get a lot of people who think you could do better.
Yeah.
And here comes the most well-known fact about Dobson. Andrew Dobson
Is bald.
cannot take criticism.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to
Sorry.
make one thing very clear here. I am not an artist. I am not an art critic. I can't really judge how good or bad Dobson's art is because I have very low standards to consider something good. I mean,
Fair.
look, my art skills are basically Chris Chan monkey scratchings. I
Yeah.
cannot draw worth
Oh,
it.
that reminds me. Remind me after this that I should try to draw my dude in his trench coat and backwards hat. Remind me to do that.
Damn.
And I
So
will.
anything that could
you
potentially
can
be
laugh
wrong
at
with
me.
Dobson's art, I won't be able to notice. But I know some people who do draw are probably pulling their hair out just seeing some of Dobson's work. Dobson gets a lot of flack and criticism for his art skills. The ordinary online artist is always looking to improve their work. They will always want to
Okay.
evolve and grow in their hobby. That's why
Yeah.
they always ask for critiques and ways they can improve. That's a big part of art culture.
Yeah, that's how you
Andrew
grow.
Dobson is not the ordinary online artist. If you're an artist and you get a comment that says something like, "This art piece sucks and so do you," that's just
That's
a
different.
throwaway comment that helps no
Yeah.
one in any way. Comments that are saying stuff like, "You could do some more shading here, or fix this up, or change this to make it better,"
Yeah,
that's a
constructive
suggestion
criticism.
on how to improve. To
One look at DeviantArt makes a different argument.
Andrew Dobson,
What-
these
what
two
argument?
comments are the exact
Are we talking about in terms of like taking constructive criticism and improving as part of art culture, or what?
same. You cannot criticize Dobson's work in any way. It does not matter how nice you are or how good your intentions are. If you criticize his art, he will argue with you, he will mock you, and he will block you. In the
Oh,
comment
people always wanting to improve? Yeah, that's fair. DeviantArt is kind of a cesspool though, isn't it? Or at least a lot of it.
section of his art pieces, you can find long strings of him arguing with people
Oh my
over his
gosh.
art all the time. He will make
So this is like, did you guys ever see like that Down the Rabbit Hole on Empress Theresa? It's kind of like that. That guy was a weird dude who wrote a book that sucked. And people would argue with him. And they'd argue and argue and argue. I guess he does that, but with his webcomics.
people criticizing his art the punchline in some of his comics where they're a dumb poo-poo head and he's the smart one. He never tries actually debunking their criticisms. He usually just goes, "I don't care," and they're just mad. Because of Dobson's
Oh, yeah.
absolute rejection of any criticism
wow.
whatsoever, a result of
Yes.
this is
Yes, Empress Teresa. Empress Teresa, that one's very interesting. It's a very interesting story. Also, it's kind of creepy because of like his views towards Joan of Arc. Yeah,
his
it's a whole
art
thing.
has remained stagnant since the early 2000s. Artists love when their art improves over the years, you know, when your style develops. I'm not even an art person, and even I can tell there is very little development in Dobson's art. It's the same 90s manga and anime styled stuff as always been, because he refuses to take any suggestions to change it or stylize it. He's also very self-aware about his art and his career not developed.
You like telling everyone to stay away from manga and anime and to draw more from life, right? Yup. But you yourself were greatly influenced by anime and even draw an anime style. Yup. Isn't that a little hypocritical of you? Maybe, but I'd really prefer it if people learned from my mistakes. Then why don't you learn from your mistakes? You can still do it. You can still improve. What? That makes literally no sense to me. Huh.
He has multiple comics talking about how pathetic he is. But you're doing this to yourself. There's
Yeah,
no point in
he
being
is.
self-aware if you aren't going to do anything about it. Oh,
Exactly.
and that whole 90s anime inspiration is another thing to put up on Dobson's wall of shame. The man has a hate boner for any anime airing past 1999, but loves
Oh,
the stuff
boy.
he grew up with and will only take cues from that. One
That's
time,
weird.
he tried stylizing Steven Universe characters in the style of one of his favorite 90s Japanese artists.
Ah! Oh. Well, he's sounding like a joke a little bit. Yeah. He is a lolcow. Holy shit, that looks like shit. That looks awful. I mean, normal Steven Universe doesn't necessarily always look great. Let's be honest here. This is terrifying.
It did not turn out well. Part of
Yeah.
his seething hatred for more adult-oriented anime blowing up in popularity in the early 2000s is because he thinks it actually had a negative impact on his life.
What?
Okay, so I just want you to just try and wrap your head around this. Dobson's dream since childhood was to be an animator at Disney.
Okay.
He would write and read about it, while his family said it was a bad idea. That's why he went to
Okay.
college. Then, in 2002, a movie called Treasure Planet came out. I
Okay.
just want to say, Treasure Planet is my favorite Disney movie. That movie is a damn classic, and it has soul. Dobson, however...
I still need to see it. I still need to see it. I have no excuse to not see it. I have access to it. I just haven't seen it yet.
thinks differently of it. He thinks the movie was inspired by the more adult anime around the time.
Huh?
It tried to be much more mature than a typical Disney film, but the movie
Okay.
bombed at the box office. And because it bombed, Disney fired a ton of animators, and this was when they started
I do hear that it's great. I do hear that it's great. Yes, I definitely mean, I intend to watch it. I intend to
pushing more
watch
to
it.
CGI because of it failing. So now, his dream of working at Disney was now shot because Treasure Planet bombed, which he thinks was inspired by anime, so therefore anime ruined his career and therefore his life. You got
That's retarded. That is freaking retarded. What the hell?
that? I know it seems like we're just jumping around all over the place, but that's really the best way to look at Dobson. It's not really a straightforward story, it's more like an anthology of events that come together and really explain why things are the way they are with him.
Okay.
Of course, being a controversial artist, you can't not have a tracing scandal. Take a look at this art piece
Oh,
of
really?
Dobson in a lot of British media, and tell me what looks out of place here. If it wasn't plainly obvious, that Big Bang back there is blatantly traced.
Oh.
And even worse since he planned on selling this at a convention. People were very quick to notice and called Dobson out for this, which Dobson didn't take.
I will admit, giving criticism can be a slippery slope. There are people who can be hypersensitive about criticism, and there's people who have found a style that they really like and just don't want to change. Is it the best mindset for growth? No, but some people are just complacent and don't want to change. Yeah, I think that's fine if you're not trying to do a career in it. He's trying to do a career, which I think is kind of different. It's also like different if it's like a style and he has like a set fan base that definitely wants that style. But if people don't want that style and he's trying to do this as a career, then that's different. But if it's just his own fun, then yeah, no. You don't have to change your art styles. It's because people don't like it as much as you do.
Take too well.
It's a whole thing.
You didn't stick with your original drawing of Big Ben, which is absolutely fine and was stylized to the rest of the picture. You didn't also do this for the TARDIS, which I could probably bring up, but the point is that it's pretty easy to focus on Big Ben because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Does it?
This also isn't the only time
I didn't really notice the Big Ben, to be honest.
Dobson has done something illegal when it comes to selling art. He also attempted to sell art with a ton of licensed characters he didn't own and was called out for this as well. And of course, he made a comic in response, because of course he would. And finally, we have to talk about the Metroid Commission. Not only did he have horrific taste in the Metroid series, but when it came to actually drawing said series, it was just as bad. In 2014, someone commissioned Dobson to draw a picture of Samus breaking out of her power armor while fighting Ridley. Dobson asked for $45 up front for it, and he would send in progress of the picture, which of course the customer asked for touch-ups. This would continue on for a few weeks until the pic was finally done. 4 months later, it took him 4 months to finish this
if you're trying to be a professional, you need to learn to take criticism in any field, period. True.
Picture, which is of average quality and not asking for anything big. Oh, and by the way, the Ridley in the background is traced. It was later revealed that the thing was actually set up by 4chaners, who wanted to see what would happen if they commissioned him. After he found this out, he was, in his own words, traumatized. He refused to do any
What? How is that traumatizing? How is that traumatizing?
commissions for at least 2 years, but he didn't know about this until after the fact. You can look online and see what took so much of Dobson's free time. Arguing with people. We have only scratched the surface, so buckle up. It's time to delve even deeper into Dobson's dark spiral.
I'm scared. Okay. Flatulence. Flatulence. I'm scared. With each new title
Now,
card,
like I've said
so
before,
scared.
Dobson and Movie Bob have a lot of similarities. This also includes their politics and their moral beliefs, which are damn near identical. No, Dobson isn't nearly as extreme as Movie Bob was. He doesn't wish for eugenics or some way of wiping out people who disagree with him. But basically, if I were to go over everything, it'd be just a Diet Coke version of Movie Bob, so I'll keep it brief. Dobson is very heavy left-leaning, he's very feminist, and fights for groups that are marginalized. He talked a lot about Goo Brigade and a bunch of other things of that matter.
Every great movement needs a great mascot. Giggle, I'm totally not part of a sexist group of gamers because I'm a girl. And so I present to you Oakless Thrift, the dumpster diving college grad. Hee I can't pay off my student loans thanks to Wall Street fat cats. Huh? Unironically though, like Vivian's a great design. I don't. What? Huh? I don't understand
He
the
hates any
criticism.
sort of objectification of women and sexism in any industry, and has made a ton of comics about it. You've probably seen this same song and dance 1,000 times already. Most notably, he's a big ally of the LGBTQ community, especially in the Western animation scene. And by that I mean you take off the G's, the B's, the T's, and everything else, and you're left with what most of his career consists of. Nothing but L's. It's no secret, Dobson had a huge bias towards lesbian couples.
Someone has a fetish. That's what it always is. He has a fetish. That's what I'm gonna say.
He would draw them, and nothing but them, constantly. You can probably count on one hand all the male gay couples he's drawn, but the lady...
Oh, a fedora wearing art school failure and a white knight. So original, yeah. Oh boy.
Ladies get all the love. You could start a seafood restaurant with all the damn clam slamming going on in Dobson's art galleries.
I hate this couple. I hate this couple. Then, like, never interact, and she never does anything. She has a very cool design, and she does shit. She does absolutely nothing. It's annoying. Even in a career, no matter what style a person has, there's a market for it. For those that don't change, it'll just be more niche and less successful. Yeah. Well, all you have is only L's is hilarious. Yes, it's very true. What was her? I can't even remember her name because she didn't do anything. And it was freaking annoying because I liked her. Her background was interesting. Her design was cool. And then they do nothing. Nothing. She does nothing except turn gay at the very end. I don't understand. Can someone remember her name? Because I don't remember her name.
And I'm not saying that to be offensive. I'm saying that because This is the most thinly veiled representation I've ever seen. It's pretty obvious what's actually going on here. Dobson is more than likely getting his jollies from drawing this, and some
I like to pretend Legend of Korra doesn't exist. That's true. I'm with you there. Asami. Yes, Asami. She did jack shit. Jack shit. And it annoyed me so much. There's a lot of characters in that series that did jack shit. And we had to be stuck with stupid Korra, who sucked and was annoying. Spoon, you can fight me. I know that you tolerate Legend of Korra, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
might be thinking, well, Mush, you're just being judgmental. There's nothing inherently wrong with a grown man in his 30s drawing cartoon lesbians being cute and mushy. And, well, maybe you're right.
Also, your art sucks. Am I allowed to say that this looks like shit? Because I'm going to say this looks like shit. For a professional animator, I think this looks like shit. If you were just starting out, this would be fine. But if you're trying to do this professionally, I think this looks like shit.
But I have a counterpoint. We have to go back to Dobson's old DeviantArt gallery.
Oh,
Around
boy.
2009, Dobson created a comic series called Alex the Pirate, a little comic about a ragtag team of pirates going on wacky pirate adventures.
Okay.
There's a bunch of anime tropes tossed in here. You got the oblivious to
Of
love
course.
boy, the pervert grandpa, but then you got the Dobson touch. A lesbian pirate. The dynamic here is, the main character, Alex, definitely not Captain Syrup from Wario Land, has the hots for the boy
Oh.
pirate whose name is Sam.
Really? He's putting his fingers in his ears. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Automod? That doesn't make sense. They can't hurt you. Korra will protect me. Korra sucks. Korra sucks. I hate her as a character. Go shove it, Automod. Yeah. Friendship with Automod. Thoroughly destroyed.
Seems the top surgery went well. Then there's the lesbian pirate
Wait,
named...
what? What the fuck?
But then you got the Dobson touch. A lesbian pirate. The dynamic here is, the main character, Alex, definitely not Captain Syrup from Wario Land,
Yeah, no, it totally is. Totally is.
has the hots for the boy pirate whose name is Sam. Seems the top surgery went well. Then there's the
Wait.
lesbian pirate named Atia, who has the hots for Alex. And then there's Sam, who only cares about treasure. It mainly focuses on
Oh boy.
Alex and
Automod
Atia.
despises you now, Spoon. Oof.
And then there's Sam, who only cares about treasure. It mainly focuses on Alex and Atia and their wacky shenanigans of love, in quotations. Very progressive for the
Oh,
time.
boy.
Progressive in the terms that Dobson's other hand was progressively
You're on a rap beef now, Automod.
going down below while drawing these because this is 100% fuel for him. Earlier on in the comic's life, everything was very tame. There was even a whole gag with Alex being incredibly androgynous, so people thought she was a boy. But as it went on, the androgynous look was completely dropped for something more voluptuous, and then the antics with her and Atia started being a bigger focus,
Oh,
with
boy.
Alex getting groped, constantly
Ah.
taking baths, and always finding ways for them to take their clothes off with
That's
each other.
kinda
Yeah,
creepy.
this man is clearly drawing this for his own personal needs. You really
This is
expect me to
creepy.
believe, in his refusal to change after all these years, he's changed in that regard? Nah, ain't happening.
Creepy.
This
Creepy.
comic is for him, and so is him drawing all those couples. It was
Yeah.
also a pioneer in creating girl boss characters, while they flat out
Oh,
say they're better
no.
than men in one comic. Man,
Ah, that trope sucks, though.
someone get this man a dummy mommy. A dummy mommy, if you will. There's also this comic where he coined the term lesbian kick, and I think he actually tried to
Oh,
make this a meme or
God.
something. He really thought it would catch on. He made
Good
shirts of it.
lord.
You know, Dobson,
Why?
if you really want to draw naked ladies in a mediocre 90s anime art style, you could have just started an NSFW account. I've seen worse
Yeah.
artists get a following. He wanted...
Oh, don't talk about
You
that
could have
demon.
just started an NSFW account. I've seen worse artists...
I hate him. With a burning passion. He drew actual children. Actual children. Teams like Step Kid. And freaking Daphne Keene, the actress who played Laura and Logan. Also known as X-23, also known as my favorite character in all of fiction, and it's freaking creepy when you're taking this actual child playing her. Yeah. Such a good picture to represent Shadman, though. Yeah,
get a following.
I guess.
He wanted to get off and get clout at the same time, and that's a recipe for disaster. Anytime he made a new art piece for
Oh,
a new
boy.
show with gay women in it, people would automatically assume it was him thirsty again, which it probably was. Anytime
probably
someone
was.
would ask him, why don't you draw something other than lesbians, he usually points to one of like 3 pictures he's drawn of others, and that's
Okay.
about it. Of course people are going to find it weird when a man in his mid-30s, who has drawn comics about women taking their clothes off all the time, starts exclusively drawing lesbians. Of course people are going to take it the wrong
boy.
way. You could bet Dobson would argue about this as well. Oh boy, when his popularity got boosted, so did the level of arguing. He was arguing
boy.
with more people than ever before. Not just for art critiques, but also for him constantly sipping over lesbians, his constant bad takes on things, and the absolute ridiculous claims he held.
Brie Larson can't act as this generation's version of the Kristen Stewart can't act. Excuse men, generally speaking, make for hitting on a property that mostly women enjoyed. But she does suck at acting. They both suck. Or at least Brie Larson sucks at trying to play a likable character. Maybe it seems like she does dramas, and maybe those are fine. I've never seen those, but she sucks at like in the MCU. And Kristen Stewart sucked in Twilight. I think she generally still sucks. What's what?
If you didn't like something that was diverse or had a woman in the starring
He's what? He seems in Lesbians with Lesbians. It's got Pilgrim reference, by the way. Oh yeah. I think I remember that.
role, you just hated women. Can't be for anything else.
The Rose Tico character was useless and poorly acted. They're racist and probably hate women. But I'm a woman. I don't. Are you saying I hate myself? I hate you. I hate you. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel sucked in a good way in the comics, in my opinion. Which Captain Marvel are we talking about? Are we talking about the first one, which is the one who had cancer and he was a dude, who is Marvel? Are we talking about the second one, which is Monica Rambeau, I believe now known as Spectrum, if I remember correctly? And then there was the third one. I think she's the third one. Is Carol Danvers, now called Carl Manvers because of how they draw her and make her act, and it's very annoying. But yeah. She was fine as like Miss Marvel sometimes. Sometimes she was just annoying though, regardless. Brie Larson in United States of Tara was good though. Maybe. She's just not good in MCU.
He did this with Star Wars and
I can at least say that.
Marvel, but because of course he did. He's checking off all those boxes.
Oh Lord.
You didn't like something he
I remember when that happened. That was cringe. She was a hard-ass military woman and had lines she would not cross. Carol Danvers. And this is during the Civil War II comics era. Afterwards, she went down pretty much. Oh, don't start me on Civil War II. Civil War II was bullshit. Civil War II, Captain Marvel had, like, children going around and Gestapoing people. Like, unironically. She had a children's brigade of Gestapo. For stopping people from doing crimes that they might commit in the future. That was freaking bullshit. And I'm really happy that Laura, aka X-23, aka All New Wolverine, sat out that arc. I'm really happy that she's like, nope, I recognize this is a bullshit argument, I'm leaving. And she just never participated. And that was based. Ugh. It was bullshit, yeah, but that's why I liked it. Like to hate her? Or like what?
did, you were some istrophobe. It's classic egocentric behavior.
Ugh.
It was very easy to get into an argument with Dobson for just about anything. And because of this fact, he became the prime target for massive trolling.
Because that's what the government would do, lol? I guess that's true. That's true, though. The government would choose the worst possible option. That doesn't mean that I can't still hate the character. I'm so uncomfortable.
Any second now!
I'm so uncomfortable!
Dobson was very famous for being very easy to troll and make fun of. It was not hard at all to agitate him. Over the
Yeah.
years, people had found ways to mess with him in increasingly over-the-top ways. I already mentioned the Samus Commission. Well, that one wasn't really a troll, more like a psyop. In 2012, someone walked up to his booth at a convention and sprayed him in the face with water before booking it.
That's kind of cringe, though. That's kind of cringe behavior from this guy. I don't find that funny. I'm sure his freakout will be funny because he'll probably like escalate it beyond what it is. But I don't think that spraying him in the face with water is that funny.
Dobson had a Minecraft server he spent a ton of free time on, making all these little art projects on it,
Oh,
until
boy.
4chan found out about it and, of course, did their 4chan thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just trolls
That
with no
makes
life
sense.
either. Dobson was getting angry on every website. He was even getting riled up and blocking people
Two cringes don't make a base. Exactly. Exactly.
on Miiverse. Miiverse! Even
Really?
little kids knew this guy was a walking punchline.
Boy.
And most famous of all, one day in the mid-2010s, he made
boy.
a certain comic. Dobson went to a convention where he was
I'm
there to
gonna be
sign and
scared,
sell
aren't I?
artwork. While he was at said convention, he witnessed a confrontation two people had while signing that stuck with him enough to make a
Okay.
comic based on it. Tell your girls to smile. Axeman, what are you doing? Leave that poor woman alone! Never fear, Dobson is here to save the day!
Oh, Lord. Assault and battery isn't a prank. Yeah, exactly.
Help! A blue bird of a door's attacked me with a baseball bat!
Now, no way this happened in real life.
I'm letting the cringe seep in. It's a really? Really? Is this really what we're doing? This is the level of white knight that we're going with? Are you kidding me? This sucks.
So this is probably just a power fantasy of what he should have done.
Yeah.
But remember, this is supposedly based on something that actually happened. Some
Doubt.
dude was actually taking pictures of a girl in a Power Girl costume. And
It was real in his mind. Oy.
yeah, it did happen. And then the picture showed up online. So,
So she was totally doing this on purpose. Handling con people deodorant as a prank? Yes, that is a prank, is handing them deodorant. See, if you're dressed as Power Girl, there's a level, I'm sorry, but if you're dressed as Power Girl, there's a level that you're kind of expecting of attention, some type of attention that you're expecting. That other costumes, okay, I understand if you're uncomfortable, but you're dressed as freaking Power Girl. And based on how she's dressed or how she's posing here, I think she's aware of what generally, I don't know, hopefully you guys know what I'm saying, okay? I can imagine this is going through his head fantasizing about it as he's watching it going on while he's actually doing nothing. Yeah, no, he's actually doing nothing, and it seems like she's fine. It seems like it's fine.
a stark contrast to what the Dobson comic was showing. Not only
Yeah.
is she not offended, she is presenting herself to the camera. She
Yeah.
was into it.
Yeah, she's in on the joke. She's in on the joke. She's totally fine.
You can get a glimpse of Dobby in the background, no doubt fuming this altercation was happening,
Oh, boy.
and made her the victim in the comic when she isn't one.
Yeah.
This man
That's what he always does, though. That's what he always does with women and minorities. He always does that.
fabricated this entire scenario
Hey.
in his head. This comic was torn to shreds.
Yeah.
People had a field day with this
Understandable.
comic. It
You're Power Girl. You know what kind of attention you're gonna get. Exactly. I'm sorry. It's a thing. It's a thing. You can say that I'm being like a douche. That it's like blaming people with like shirts, people with short skirts when like things happen. But no, it's like you're cosplaying. You're gonna get people who probably want pictures with you. You know what type of attention you're gonna get. I don't know. I don't know.
was the funniest thing Dobson had produced in his entire career. People started making parodies of it where the ending was changed or the characters were
loss.
changed.
Yeah.
Tell your girls to smile.
Oh
Whatever
my
you're
God.
talking about, I don't care. Put Buzz back the way he was, then get lost.
This is probably
Oi.
the most famous thing Dobson has ever made. If you know about Dobson anyway, it was probably from this comic and its many parodies. Dobson was already seen as someone to make fun of on social media for a while, not only for not being able to take criticism, not only for calling people every istophobe in the book, but for other such incidents, like this one, on August 11th, 2015. Zelda Williams saying it was a hard day for her, and Dobson responds with a meme telling her to calm thy tits. Well,
I thought you were supposed to be a white knight. What? It's like putting on a slave Leia costume. You know what you're attracting. Yeah. I thought you were supposed to be like all feministy. Why are you sending this to her? And if you got thighs, I'll probably be nearby. Oi.
Dobson, that's one way to respond to a woman having a hard day. I wonder what could be causing her distress. I wonder what tragic...
Please don't tell me that her dad just... Oh, no.
...event could have happened the year previous to make that day hard for her.
Oh, no.
Well, what a thing to say to a woman on the anniversary of her father's death. He deleted the tweet, and it took a heavy amount of pushback for him to finally apologize to her. The amount of backlash Dobson got from that was enormous. Now, imagine that, but instead of people being angry, they're laughing at you. Also around this time, blogs about Dobson's history and antics started popping up. So
why would you say that to Zelda Williams? Like, why? Do you not like her? Is she, like, right-wing or something? I don't think she is. Like, why are you... Like, why?
Some of these were actually really helpful for the research of this video, so if anyone who ran those blogs see this, thank you for your kind work, soldier.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah!
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part, too.
Show the bugs
Due to the political climate...
Show them stepping on the bugs. No! A fellow Thai man and Thai guy of culture, I see. Why are you guys all Thai guys? I swear, most of my chat is Thai guys. I don't understand. So, like, how do you end up here?
The state of Twitter around the time, and now this...
I'm glad you did, but, like, how?
...ass-platting he was now getting, Dobson was easier to rile up more than ever before. This was like getting sprayed in the face with a gun. How would he respond to all this criticism? I'll tell you how. Death threats. So many death threats, he ended up getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. Now, a ton of people...
Wait, did he...
...respond to all this criticism? I'll tell you how. Death threats. So many...
Oh. Oh. You're one of those. You're one of those. Okay, so he's threatening death on people. Great, great.
Many death threats, he ended up getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. Now, a ton of people were digging into and learning about Dobson's past, just to clown on him some more.
I'm not just a Thai guy. I'm a She-Hulk kind of guy. Yeah, yeah.
They found about all his past work, his...
But that involves thighs. That involves thighs, though. You gotta get the thighs.
He ended up getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. Now, a ton of people were digging in...
I kind of feel like James Gunn now? That is not nearly comparable. What the? You are retarded.
So many death threats, he ended up getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. Now, a ton of people were digging into and learning about Dobson's past, just to clown on him some more. They found about all his past work, his plagiarism, and his crippling fear of carnival masks. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Dobson has a huge fear of carnival masks. So much, unfortunately...
Okay, to be fair, my face when something mods ban people from posting Carnival under the excuse of it being spam. To be fair, I was afraid of some of these masks. Like, I couldn't go to the bathroom at one of my friend's house because they had those in the bathroom. But to be in my defense, I was like 6. So, yeah. Debating on pinning you with a video or just DMing it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Pick me up easily like a child. I'm not doing what you want. Oh my god, cat.
Threads where they were making fun of him, they would constantly post carnival masks to scare him off from reading the threads. If you want to scare your local Dobson off, wear one of these. This also led to a bunch of images and memes connecting Dobson to air pumps and...
Oh no.
Well, I couldn't go on forever,
hide.
But
Do
we
I have
must.
to hide?
It is a part of Dobson's story, after all.
No! Ah!
I don't think he's gonna stop.
I hate this type of stuff. It makes me so uncomfortable. Oh, shit. Oh god, I'm scared.
Do you remember earlier when I made a joke about Dobson potentially making an NSFW account?
Oh,
Well, it turns out He had already beaten me to the punch. Did
Oh,
you
no.
really think Dobson's only trace online was his old
scared.
DeviantArt? Oh, no,
I'm
no,
scared,
no.
I'm scared,
He
I'm
had
scared.
another identity at one point. Just like the Lightbringer and his love for the green M&M, Dobson had his own skeletons in the closet. Dobson...
Please, don't use your... 1, don't be a gooner or a coomer. 2, don't, like, make accounts. Oh, it's gonna get traced to you, man. It's gonna get traced to you if you ever become an internet person. It's gonna get traced to you. I have my blanket ready to hide if I need to.
had
Okay.
another DeviantArt account dedicated to the thing he loved.
Oh, no. Stop! Please! Oh, God. I'm assuming, is this from Conquer? Gooning is an art form, Vivi? No. It's definitely not an art for me, okay? I don't goon. I don't goon. I... Oh, God. Wait, no, this is Banjo-Kazooie? It's not even Conquer? What the hell? Oh God, I'm scared. No. Why are you like this?
Under the alias Caddian, this was Dobson's account dedicated to his love for inflation. No, not the thing currently affecting the US, but the act of filling people, in this scenario women, specifically anime women from the 90s, with air. Whether it be the whole body or specific parts, Dobson was the one...
but I need a look so I can ban the bots. God help me, God help me, God help me.
Under this account. The art styles are damn near indistinguishable. It was not hard to trace this back to Dobson. Dobson would post a ton of art under this account, not just to DeviantArt, but to a whole other website, known as Expansion God.
Oh, no!
Oh, God, what have I gotten myself into? The website is exactly what you think it is. A website for Dobson to post his artwork of girls getting blown up like balloons. You can view all sorts of comics, art pieces, and even some Flash games. Oh, boy! Inflation games! You know the game Kaboom by Activision, the classic where you catch bombs thrown at you from above? Well, how would you like to play a remake of that, but instead of catching bombs, you're instead blocking nails to keep it from popping inflated anime girl?
You can't escape the gooning, Vivi.
Video games have peaked. Sadly, it looks like the other two games have been lost to time. The download links don't work, and that's a shame. This one looked like a real winner. That goes for most of the site, too. Most of it has been lost to time, and only certain sections of it work anymore. Because you could probably imagine, Dobson didn't really want this still up for people to find, so it's been shut down for well over a decade now. And a lot of you are probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? Why is this relevant? Am I just clowning on a guy for having a weird attraction to something? Am I kink shaming? Well,
do it. I don't care. Kink shame all you want. I don't give a freaking shit.
To be honest, the whole inflation thing isn't even that notable. You used to be able to go on the front page of DeviantArt and you get smacked with inflation art. It's like basic level internet weirdness. It's not even anything really all that bad at the end of the day. All this really comes down to is the hardening of the pee-pee, and there are plenty of places you can go to do that. The reason why I'm bringing this up is the fact that Tom Preston, Andrew Dobson, made this website all those years ago. The same Andrew Dobson who would go on tirades on Twitter on objectifying women and making them appeal to the male gaze, and to stop doing sexist crap, making...
That's because that's what every male feminist does. This is every male feminist. All of them freaking gooners. I swear. I swear every male feminist is a freaking just gooner who's projecting. I swear. It always happens.
Comics where he beats up guys taking pictures of boobies on ladies who are 100% consenting. He's the one who made this. An entire website dedicated to blowing ladies up, turning them into actual objects where you protect them in Flash games from being popped. Dobson did all of that. He's been throwing stones in his glass house the entire time.
They always do that.
Rules for thee and not for me. That's the name of the game here. And yeah, of course, once his career took off, he tried scrubbing any and all traces of this past life, but we all know once something is on the internet, it is next to impossible to take it down.
Yeah.
So the archives exist, and they'll stay there. A monument to a man's inflated ego. A reminder of who he once was.
Oh, nice. Nice, inflated ego. Cute, cute.
And how this will be his legacy on the web. Almost 20 years of art, from inflation to a slow and painful degradation into the punching bag he would become.
That's why instead of being a feminist, you become a pessimist. Yes. Yes. I prefer that than being a feminist. You don't care about anyone at all? That's not true about pessimism. That's, oh shit, what's it called? Nihilism. That's nihilism, not pessimism. Pessimism is just you're a little down sometimes. Nihilism is nothing matters. That's a difference. There's a difference. And not a nihilism. Nihilism is cringe. Pessimism, all day. Ugh. Oi.
He has no style. He has no grace. This Tom has a funny face. He can handstand.
Yeah.
And he needs to. And stretch his arms out. Just for you.
Linky Kong.
After being a walking meme and a punching bag for a couple of years, after being the subject of many a Tumblr blog, in 2020, Dobson would completely disappear from the internet.
Oh, really?
He abandoned his Tumblr, he completely wiped all of his comics off his website, and now the whole website is empty. It's still up, but there's nothing there. It's a ghost of a website now. Everything from Dobson himself has been completely wiped. Everything I had to use here I had to get from third-party sources, including those blogs.
Interesting.
It really does seem Dobson just packed everything up and left without telling anyone.
I doubt it. He seems too internet addicted. He probably just changed his handle to try to get rid of his troll fan base, his troll base, and probably just tried to start over. That's what I'm imagining. Rusty, I request the video if it's of thighs and muscle mommies.
Why did Dobson do this? Why did he just delete everything and leave? Well, it's widely believed this was actually a result of interference from his family. His family apparently told him to touch grass. Well,
Really?
that's simplifying it too much. It is
That'd be
actually
interesting.
believed that Dobson's brother was getting a very high-profile government job, and his brother simply being related to Dobson, he lost said job opportunity. Dobson's actions of threatening people online, threatening politicians, and telling them to off themselves costed his brother a job. And
I wouldn't
so
be
his
surprised.
family told him to just stop posting online, and it seems like that's what happened.
I doubt he would listen, though. He's too stubborn. That doesn't make sense.
Dobson was the tale of a man who refused to listen. He refused to take criticism. He refused to do what many believed was better for him. Your good intentions meant nothing to him. You were just a troll or a bigot if you disagreed with him. He stuck to that mantra, and he never let it go. It didn't help that the things he was making constantly were for him and him alone, and claimed it was him showing support for marginalized groups. After years and years of being a walking punchline, he decided the best thing to do was to leave.
That's fair.
3 years later, and surprisingly, Tom Preston still has not returned to the internet.
That we
All
know
the
of.
blogs dedicated to Dobson, all the people documenting his history, have dried up because he just isn't here anymore. The So You're a Cartoonist
don't know
website
about
is still up, which means he's probably still paying for the domain. But there's nothing on here, so he's paying for essentially nothing. Maybe he's planning for a big comeback, as a changed man, no longer the weird, toxic individual he once was. But honestly, if you ask me, the internet did more damage to Tom Preston than anything. I think it's better if you stay off it, and live his life away from it. Dobson spent his whole life wanting to draw. I have no doubt in my mind he still is. But only for himself and his friends and family, where they're probably less likely to criticize him. He can now draw to his heart's content, without anyone making fun of him for it. Now he can live out his career as a cartoonist in solitude, drawing all the lesbian blint women he wants. And if
Boy.
that's what he wants to do, well, who are we to take that away from him? God bless, like and subscribe, and good night. And remember, boys and girls, don't be a Dobson.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Andrew Dobson, professional artist, traces pictures of Big Ben, goes to sell them at conventions. 5 minutes in Photoshop, I hope you die on your way to MCM.
Why is this a
On
bot?
your way to MCM.
I thought it was also. I want to say that he was also the reason why he started being a bear is because he's balding, and everyone kept on saying that, "Hey, bro, you're balding, and you're drawing yourself with hair." And he's like, "Fine, I'm a bear now. I'm a bear now. Stop talking about my hair." That's what I heard, at least. The origin of his blue bear character is kind of funny. He always draws himself as thin and with a full head of hair. People kept asking him why he does that when he is actually bald and fat. Eventually, he got fed up, threw a tantrum, and started drawing himself as a blue bear. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Next time on the Variety live streams, what will chat get me to watch next? Who knows? Check us out next time. Same rat time. Same rat channel. Please follow on Twitch if you want to see these live. If you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube. I hope you have a good day, and thank you for your time.